Welcome to another Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I'm your instructor, Richard Ross. Today is part 10. Yes, we're up to 10 already of my employee training video series. I was just thinking that 10 is the longest series I've ever done. I think the association videos that I did went up to 10. So after this, we're going to be breaking records with part 11. But let's get through part 10 first, right, people? All right. Again, of course, if you haven't watched parts 1 through 9, go watch those first, and then come on back. And here we go. All right, so last time we made this cool report, right? But I want to know, just at a glance, that there's 4 people. Whenever I log into the database, right, I want to know that there's 4 people that are missing training. And it shows me right here. And then I know I got to run the report and find out who it is. All right, so we're going to build this first. All right, so back to the copy that doesn't have it in it. And the reason why I wanted to run through it first is because there is a trick you can do in some other databases where you can make the DCount function have a subquery in it directly. It kind of looks something like this. You could say DCount and then star or whatever the field is. And then in here, you could put an SQL statement, right? Select distinct. That's basically an aggregate query from this query. But unfortunately, in Access, you can't do it this way. So we need to make an aggregate query first. All right, so let's create. If you don't know what an aggregate query is, pause the video now and go watch this guy. This video explains aggregate queries. It's basically taking a query with a bunch of different records in it and grouping it on something. Like we're going to group all of the employees together, right? You can also do sums and averages and all kinds of counts and all kinds of stuff. And if you don't know what DCount is, go watch this. DCount we're going to use to count the number of records in a query. So we're going to count the number of records that are in that aggregate query and display that on the main menu. Got it? Okay. All right, so first up is the aggregate query. Create, query design. Now I want to use as my source that query we were working with before, the employee course missing queue that shows all of the missing employees. Now in here, all I really care about is a count. So I'm just going to bring in, you think you might want to bring in the star? Trust me, bring in the employee ID. It'll run faster with just that one field. I know, it's a minuscule thing, but these little tiny changes, especially if you upscale this later to SQL Server and it's running on a server and there's tens of thousands of records in it, just one field is all we need in here. Okay? Now, we're going to turn this into an aggregate or totals query, and that's going to group by that. That's all you got to do. Just leave it alone. Save it as employee, I can't type today, employee course missing AGGQ. That's my little phrase. I know it's an aggregate query then. Okay? And now if I run it, that's all I get. 1, 2, 3, 4. Why? Because it takes a look at its input, which is that, and it groups all the like values together. So you get 1, 2, 3, and 4. And it's in no particular sorted order. It just happened to give you that order. Oh, someone's beaming in. Hold on. Who is it? No, I'm kidding. No one's beaming in. That's just my my half hourly chime. I changed it to a half hourly chime. Okie dokie. So now we have a query here with 4 records in it. That happens to be the value that I'm looking for. So now I can count the number of records in this field in this particular query, and that'll give me the result I want. So let's go to the main menu. Kind of turning the main menu into a little bit of a dashboard here, right? Let's add a text box right there. Open her up. And in here, let's give it a name. Let's say count missing queue or count missing training. How's that sound? Count missing training. Okay. The control source, what's it going to be? I'm going to shift F2 to zoom in so you can see it better. Equals DCount. What's the field? Employee ID. Or is it count employee ID? Oh, no, it changes on you sometimes. Hang on, let me take a look. Well, I'll put the star in here for now. Because this doesn't matter because in the output results, you're only getting one field, so it really doesn't matter here if you put the star. And then the name of the query is employee course missing ag q. Let's take a look and see if it's getting a star or not. Save that, close it, open it, and there's our 4. I'm just curious. This guy here is... No, it's just employee ID. Because if you do a sum, sometimes it'll say sum of employee ID. All right, so the more efficient way to do this is to put employee ID in here, right, instead of the star. It doesn't really make that much difference because, like I said, you're only getting one field in the output. And now we can just make this a little prettier, right? So we'll slide this over here. We'll say missing training colon. And then this doesn't have to be that big. Maybe about there. We're going to line more stuff up below it too. This, we're going to go format, shape outline, transparent, shape fill, transparent. I'm going to change that to a light blue. And we'll change this to a darker blue, but still bright. And we'll bold it. And we will right align that one and left align that one. And save it, close it, open it, and there we go. Looks pretty cool. As we line more stuff up underneath it, it'll all line up right there. Looks pretty cool, huh? And I can see when I open my database up, I got 4 people. Who's those 4 people? What do they need? All right, there it is. Now you can get on the horn, or you can email them, or you can be like, hey, what's going on? All right, and maybe we'll slide it over, because you shouldn't have that many people. Maybe we'll do a little bit like this. Yeah. Okay. Good enough. All right, so next up, we know who's missing training completely. You got to go in and add those classes, enroll them, whatever you got to do. Now what about people who are enrolled, but they're past their deadline to have the training completed, right? They're still in progress, and it's 5 days later, they're supposed to have it done. So let's take a look at, Jean-Luc here. All right, he's enrolled. He's missing stuff, but he's also enrolled in 2 classes that are in progress. Let's see. Let's make these deadline dates earlier. Today is November 13th. So let's say we only gave him 1 day to finish. All right, so 11/12. Sorry, it's Jean-Luc. You should be on this, right? You should be on the ball here. And we'll make this one 11/11. So you had to take that one the same day. Okay, so he's technically overdue on completing those 2. Let me make me overdue on 1 as well. Here's an in progress for IT 103. We'll make that 11/11. Okay, so there should be 2 employees at least. I haven't looked at the rest of them. Now, we have our employee course status queue. All right, the course status. This shows all of the courses that each person's enrolled in, okay, or missing, but we do have the ones that they're enrolled in right there. And you can see who is completed, in progress, whatever. So what I want to do is I want to narrow this query down a little bit, but without changing this one too much, right? We can't put a filter on here and say just the in progress ones because someone else uses this query. That's the problem you run into with these queries sometimes is you got to be very careful when you modify it that you don't mess up someone else, you don't yuck someone else's yum, right? You don't want to mess up someone else needs this query. And if you want to see who else is dependent upon this query, by the way, go to Database Tools and then Object Dependencies, and this thing will come up. It'll tell you right here who else requires this. So employee course missing queue is requires this query the way it is. All right, I got a whole separate video on object dependencies. Here it is if you want to go watch it. It doesn't check dependencies in your VB code though, so you could have some VB code that is relying on that query existing too. So, although in my VB code, I try to rely on just VB code, but So anyways, just this one other query. Now, what I want to do is I want to also, in addition to this description of the progress, right? I got the status ID in the description. I want to also put on here the required date. Now, before we modify this query, be careful. The way I do it is I check to see how many records it returns right now, 35. Okay, so I'm going to come in here, design view, and I want to add the deadline date to this query. It should be okay. I don't think this is going to cause any problems, but you never know. So let me add it, and then I'm going to run the query again. And okay, I got the same number of records. It should be safe. Sometimes if you make this change and you see like 5 times the number of records appear or a quarter of the number of records appear, you messed up something. But in this particular case, I'm just adding another field from a table that's already in this query, so it's probably safe. And in this particular case, it looks like it is. Okay, so now I got the deadline date for this training to be completed. I'm going to save this query just as it is. And now we can say, give me another query that shows all of these same records where the status ID is 1 in progress and it's past the deadline date. So while I've got it up here on the screen, I'm just going to do that. I'm going to say it's going to be okay. It's going to be the status ID is 1 and deadline date is going to be less than today's date, like that. So I've just put that in my notepad, slide it off to the side, because now I can make another query, create, query design, bring in the query we were just working with, this guy, You get out of here. Okay. For this, I'm going to bring in all the fields. And then I would need criteria on status ID and deadline date. And I don't want to see them twice, so I'll turn these boxes off. All right, status ID has got to be 1. What? Huh? Oh, that's sort. My bad, sorry. Criteria is down here. Stupid mistake, rookie mistake. All right, and the deadline date has to be less than today's date. We'll give them that benefit of the doubt. Date, like that. Okay, save this. Employee, course, status, overdue, we'll call it. Okay, they're overdue for this training. All right, and now if I run it, there we go. That's exactly what I was expecting to see. Me and Jean-Luc for 2 of them. Okay. Now, I'm not going to go through making another report. It's the exact same thing we just did in the last lesson. You just use this for your report. Add your grouping levels, add your sorting, whatever else you want to do. All right. We will throw up we'll throw up a button to open this up if you want to, right? Employee. Let's write it down here so I won't forget it. Employee course status overdue. Q. We'll make an aggregate query for it as well, right? Create, query design, bring in this guy, bring in employee ID, get rid of you. Turn that on and go group by. Save this. Let's copy that file. This is why I like to work with the notepad, because now I can just copy this, right? Instead of having to retype it all the time. Paste it and just put aggregate in here. Like that. Run it. You should get 2, right? 2 records. Okay. And now on my main menu, we can do something like this. Let's do, let's put the buttons below the counts. Let's put the counts up top here. I'm going to copy and paste that. Overdue training, right? And this is going to be that with the aggregate in there. AGG. Right? Save it. And if you want to make a button, all right, we'll do overdue training report. Overdue. I'm not going to open our report. We'll just open that query. Right? Do command dot open. Yes, I know I didn't name the button. Open query. Sorry, Alex. That thing. Oh, I got to copy it again. When you copy and paste objects, when you're back here, like I copied and pasted a button, that'll go on your clipboard. So you can't, the text is gone. There is a Windows clipboard tool you can get so that you can, it stores the last couple of things that you copied. And you can pick from any multiple one of those. All right, save that. Close it. Close it. Open it. There we go. We got 4 missing, 2 overdue. Who's overdue? These guys are. And you can make that a nice pretty report if you want. Okay. Looking pretty good. All right. In the next class, then we got to deal with people whose certifications / training have expired or are expiring soon. We'll do that in the next lesson. In the meantime, if you want to learn more about aggregate queries, I spend lots of time on them in Access Expert Level 11. And in Access Expert Level 29, I cover the aggregate functions. These are useful for like in the footer of a form or a report. And I also cover the different domain aggregate functions like DLOOKUP, DSUM, DCount, right? The stuff that we're working with in this video series. I spent a lot of time on these functions in my full course. All right, so that's it for part 10. Tune in tomorrow, same bad time, same bat channel. And of course, if you're a member, you can watch it right now because I'm gonna keep going tonight. I got my caffeine fix. I'm on a roll. I'm gonna record a bunch of stuff tonight. That's gonna do it for part 10. I'll see you tomorrow for part 11. That's your tech help video for today. Hope you learned something. Live long and prosper, my friends. See you tomorrow. A special thank you and shout out to our diamond sponsors. First, we have Juan Soto with Access Experts Software Solutions, manufacturing experts specializing in Access and SQL Server. Juan is a 13-time Microsoft Access MVP. You can check them out at accessexperts.com. Another shout out to Sammy Shama from Shama Consultancy. Sammy is a certified Microsoft Office specialist, and he not only offers Access application development, but he also provides one-on-one tutoring services. So if you need someone to hold your hand and help you with your Access project, Sammy is your guy. Check them out at shamaconsultancy.com. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and post any comments you may have below. I do try to read and answer all of them as soon as I can. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, which is completely free. Click the bell icon and select all to receive notifications when new videos are posted. Want to learn more? Click the Show More link below the video to find additional resources and links. YouTube does a pretty good job of hiding it. It's right down there. See this part of the description here, right? The name, the video's up here. There's a little Show More down there, right down the bottom. It's kind of hard to find. But once you click on that, you'll see a list of other videos, additional information related to the current topic, free lessons, and lots more. And YouTube no longer sends out email notifications when new videos are posted like they used to do. But if you'd like to get an email every time I post a new video, click on the link to join my mailing list. And you can pick how frequently to get emails from me, either as they happen, daily, weekly, or monthly. Now, if you'd like to become a paid member of my channel and receive all kinds of awesome perks, click on the Join button. You'll see a list of all the different membership levels that are available, each with its own special perks, including my extended cut videos, access to my code vault, lots of VBA source code in there, template downloads, and lots more. I'll talk more about these perks at the end of the video. Even if you don't want to commit to becoming a paid member and you'd like to help support my work, please feel free to click on the tip jar link. Your patronage is greatly appreciated and will help keep these free videos coming. I got some puppies to feed. But don't worry, no matter what, these free tech help videos are going to keep coming. As long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making more, and they'll always be free. Now, if you really want to learn Access and you haven't tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access, including building forms, queries, reports, and more. It's over 4 hours long. You can find it on my website or on my YouTube channel. I'll put a link down below you can click on. And did I mention it's completely free? The whole thing, free, 4 hours. Go watch it. And okay, a lot of you have told me that you don't have time to sit through a 4-hour course. So I do now have a quicker Microsoft Access for Beginners video that covers all the basics faster in about 30 minutes. And no, I didn't just put the video on fast forward. But I'll put a link to this down below as well. Now, if you like level 1, level 2 is just $1. That's it, $1. And that's another whole 90-minute course. Level 2 is also free for paid members of any level, including supporters. So if you're a member, go watch level 2. It's free. Okay, want to get your question answered in a video just like this one? Visit my TechHelp page and send me your question there. Members get priority, of course. While I do try to read and respond to all of the comments posted below in the comments section, I only have time to go through them briefly a couple of times a month, and sometimes I get thousands of them. So send me your question here on the TechHelp page, and you'll have a better chance of getting it answered. And while you're on my website, be sure to stop by my Access forum. We've got lots of lively conversations about Microsoft Access and other topics. I have a fantastic group of moderators who help me answer questions. Shout out to Alex, Kevin, Scott, Adam, John, Dan, Juan, and everybody else who helps out on the site. I appreciate everything you do. I couldn't do it without you. Be sure to follow my blog, find me on Twitter, and of course on YouTube. Yeah, I'm on Facebook too, but I don't like Facebook. Don't get me started. Now, let's talk more about those member perks if you do decide to join as a paid member. There are different levels: Silver, Gold, Platinum, and Diamond. Silver members and up get access to all of my extended cut tech help videos, one free beginner class every month, and some other perks. Gold members get all the previous perks, plus access to download the sample databases that I build in my tech help videos, plus access to my code vault where I keep tons of different functions that I use, the code that I build in most of the videos. You'll also get higher priority if you do submit any tech help questions. Now, answers are never guaranteed, but you do go higher in the list for me to read them. And if I like your question, you got a good chance of it being answered. You'll also get one free expert level class each month after you've finished the beginner series. Platinum members get all the previous perks plus even higher priority for TechHelp questions. You get access to all of my full beginner level courses for every subject. And I cover lots of different subjects like Word, Excel, VBA, ASP, lots of different stuff, not just Access. These are the full-length courses found on my website. You get all the beginner ones. In addition, once you finish the expert classes, you get one free developer class per month. So lots of training. And finally, you can also become a Diamond sponsor. You'll have your name or your company name listed on a sponsors page that will be shown on each video as long as you're a sponsor. You'll get a shout out in the video and a link to your website or product in the text below the video and on my website. So that's it. Once again, my name is Richard Rost. Thank you for watching this video brought to you by accesslearningzone.com. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something today. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you again soon.